Hello, my name is Jan Andrew Goodilano Donato. I am from Drama 15 and I am here to do my oral presentation on the play that I've watched called Master Harold and the Boys. I will also be doing a comparison to two other stories called Raisin in the Sun and Golden Child. The first comparison I will make is in regards to the theme, and the theme is dissatisfaction with life and themselves. So, in relation to this feeling of dissatisfaction in Master Harold and the Boys, is one of the main characters named Hallie. Hallie is a white South African who owns a tea house that his two servants, Sam and Willie, work in. Hallie is, compared to the two servants, is unhappy, which is strange considering the era of which they grew up in. He grew up in. Hallie, he feels unhappy in regards to what is happening at home for him. He has to deal with his father, who's not only handicapped, but also an abuser, an alcoholic. At the same time, he takes money from his own store, which Hallie at certain times watches over. He doesn't feel happy in the sense that he doesn't have a fatherly figure to look upon. He feels neglected. At the same time, he feels out of place. He looks for help and he looks for guidance from the two servants, mainly Sam, who is the head servant of the rest of the tea house that he works in. But the relationship that Sam and Hallie have is almost what he would like as a father would. But considering the times that Hallie was growing up in, it causes strain in their relationship as he grew older. And towards the end of the play, Hallie breaks off his friendship with Sam for doing something that he regretted. This same dissatisfaction is felt by the younger family in Raisin in the Sun. Now in Raisin in the Sun, the dissatisfaction comes from everyone in the family. Walter Lee, Beth, Mama, Travis, everyone. This dissatisfaction comes from having to live in a small apartment. The small apartment that they live in, it doesn't give them enough room to work. It's not very situated. It's not family oriented. There's only one window in the apartment. It makes things difficult. At the same time, it also creates conflict with the family. They have no control over these things. And there's no way for them to have that freedom where they can actually do the things they need to. This is when they find out that when Mama invests in for the family, a house in a white suburb. However, there's conflict that occurs in that story in regards to not being able to move in because of the neighbors, at the same time with the decision Walter Lee has made with spending the rest of the money on his alcohol store. Another story that has the dissatisfaction as a theme is in Golden Child, and this is felt by Tiang Bin, who is the grandfather of Andrew Kwong in the story. Tiang Bin, he is unhappy with how he has to be tied down by Chinese tradition and culture. He has so many obligations as a husband to his 3 wives and to his parents who have passed away. He is now the owner of his own household and he also watches over the village. Changbin has so many obligations that he wants to have his own freedom. He wants to make his own choices. And when he comes back from his 3-year business trip in the Philippines, he learns about Christianity. He learns about what it means to take ownership of oneself from Reverend Bain. In terms of that, he tries to fight for this individuality he wants by changing some certain aspects within the household. Another thing that is similar in regards to the 3 stories is the way that they were told. And the way that they were told is from a personal perspective, a personal feeling for each of the writers of these 3 stories. This was very personal for all 3 of them, because these were events that, in a way, was going on in their own lives. For Antholfur Gard, he experienced something. He was almost like Hallie, where he had a falling out with the servant. He wanted to remedy his relationship, at the same time make amends for his mistake by creating this play. He also disliked the methods of which the government was going on and doing segregation. He wanted a community that was free, open, and that did not segregate one another, did not have discrimination, even though he was a white South African. And for David Henry Hwang, it was a personal perspective, not solely from him, but his grandma. He wanted to base his life trying to understand Chinese tradition, Chinese culture. And through that, he learned these things from his grandma. In a way, he also learned that there needs to be, and he wants to take ownership of his life, make his own decisions, something that people should respect. Another one would be for Raisin and the Sun, whom the author was, let me think for a moment. The author would be Lorraine Hansberry. Lorraine Hansberry depicts A Raisin in the Sun based on her own experience growing up